Get ready to explore the world as we set sail for places far off the beaten path in this exciting Adventures in Travel presentation. Visit some of the most fascinating destinations in the world and take part in activities that are far beyond the ordinary tourist routine. You'll be thrilled as we bike, sail, dive, trek, and climb to really experience the world and its cultures. For an unparalleled vacation, let's join our Passport to Adventure hosts, Julie Conover and Mark Jennings.
Hi, and welcome to Passport to Adventure. I'm Mark Jennings.
And I'm Julie Conover. The Roman Tower behind us is over 2,000 years old and offers just a glimpse of the amazing history you'll find here in Austria.
In this region known as the Tyrol, you'll find some breathtaking scenery and the perfect backdrop for some great discoveries.
In this episode, we'll take you to the Tyrolean Alps and explore some of the world's best hiking terrain.
You'll meet the vibrant characters of the Tyrol and get a taste of their lifestyle.
We'll shift into high gear for a tour of the backcountry.
We'll take you to the Alpbach and cut loose with the locals.
We'll take you to the Ziller Valley for the World Cup of Paraponting.
We'll meet the owners of a 2,000-year-old castle who share with us its secrets.
You'll experience rock climbing through the eyes and hands of a master.
It's all a part of the magic and tradition to be found in this enchanting region of Austria. And it all happens next on Passport to Adventure.
The Austrian Alps have been an inspiration to visitors and locals for centuries.
I love the mountains, I love the nature, and also I like the people here. They're very friendly.
Just 2 hours from Munich in the Tyrol region is the Ziller Valley. Here you'll find beautiful countryside, old-fashioned farms, and a glimpse of the traditional lifestyle.
The Ziller Valley is made up of 12 villages, each with their own unique character and charm. Many of the buildings have stood for over 500 years. They have ornately detailed architecture, often adorned with hand-painted murals. Here, virtually every hotel is family-run, and a wealth of activities await those seeking the outdoor experience.
For people who like to be sportive, they can do some mountain biking, they can do some hiking, they can go paragliding. You can do some rafting. There's everything for people who want to be active.
The Austrian Alps are a magnet for climbers, and the Zillertal is home to one of the world's best.
I was just curious. As a little boy, I was curious to see what's up there, you know? I was curious what's behind the mountains. I was hungry. I was a hungry boy going for the mountains. Whatever followed then, you know, I went through all these stages. First the easy stuff, then more harder things. And by the age of 14, I was an extreme climber.
Peter scaled the ranks of climbers here in the Zillertal and began to tackle even greater challenges.
We were going for the big ones. And our idea was to scale these peaks without oxygen. And it ended on top of Everest.
A world record was set when Peter and his small crew journeyed to the Himalayas. They became the first to ascend the world's highest peak without the aid of oxygen.
Just outside the village of Meyerhofen lies the gateway to some of Europe's best hiking. The magnitude of the surroundings leaves its impact on all.
What's the feeling you get when you walk up these mountains?
You feel free in a way, and then also you feel part of the nature. Everything is very big, and impressive. It's just a feeling you get. You have to experience it. It's really hard to describe.
Meyerhoffen's native son, Peter Habela, now runs a mountaineering school here in the Zillertal.
Climbing is not only a sheer technical thing. Climbing is emotional. People who go to the Austrian Alps, they go because they want to see these nice places and yet do also some climbing. We have beautiful mountains. Of course, other valleys also have nice mountains. But besides that, we have a combination of all. We have nice valley floors. You can do the paragliding, you can do the canoeing. We have steeper hills. We have faces which are difficult to climb. So altogether, it's a combination of more things which we are lucky enough which we have. Well, now I'm going to show you this little place where I take my cheese for the Himalayas. I never go without cheese. It's going to be a treat.
Peter took us to a rustic hut where they've been making mountain cheese for centuries.
This jovial character obviously enjoys his work.
There are always two people necessary to make it, and they heat up, the milk goes in there, they heat it up, and after they take it out and they put it in here and they press it. And 3/4 of a year, these loaves are going to be ripe.
It's easy to see why climbers pack this stuff all the way to the Himalayas. It's not only delicious, it's so rich and creamy it never freezes. Centuries ago, the wealthy owned all of the fertile valley lands. Peasants were forced to adapt to the steep hillsides, designing homes that would be protected from avalanche.
People were poor in those days, very, very poor, so they had to find this spot, you see. The house itself would be about 300 years old. But obviously, there used to be avalanches, so they would build it shelter. They would try to keep it safe.
Every couple of miles, you'll find an old family house, or huta, where hikers are encouraged to sample the homemade schnapps.
The beauty of hiking here is that you can go for days with only a small knapsack. You'll find numerous huts along the way offering home-cooked meals, accommodations, and enthusiastic company.
And where are you folks from? Where's home?
From Germany and from Austria, from Graz.
What do you enjoy most?
The mountains.
The high stone, this is the mountain.
This is Kaiserschmarrn.
Kaiserschmarrn.
Yeah.
It's good?
Very good.
All right. To our hosts on the mountain. Here, the schnapps packs a powerful punch.
The final leg of our journey would take us to the Berliner Hütte, built over 100 years ago by a German mountaineering club from Berlin. The hut is used as a staging ground for expeditions to the nearby glacier.
Climbing here, it's more the alpine stuff. It's the long approaches, the crossing of the glaciers. Climbing is colors.
It's aesthetic, it's spiritual.
Sure, that's what it means to me now.
In Austria, you'll find plenty of Gemütlichkeit.
Gemütlich means if it's very cozy and friendly and if you feel just like at home.
I love to work in the mountains, and the surroundings is really good here. And the people are so easy and nice and happy. They enjoy just the atmosphere.
Now I want to show you where I stay tonight in the Berliner hut. This is my room.
The rooms are cozy and simple, but the views of the glacier are unforgettable.
Each year, the Zillertal hosts the Paragliding World Cup.
Here is one of the best flying arenas all over the world. It's very famous, especially for doing cross countries. Since the beginning of hang gliding of 20 years ago, here were always cross-country flyings here.
Cross-country competition requires sunshine and warm air to create thermals, allowing flyers to cover great distances. A former champion and local legend gave us a bit of insight on the sport.
My name is Gert Platzer. I would like to tell you what's a paraglider. Paraglider is actually a soft wing. It's 43 square meters of nylon gliding sail.
Thermals provide the lift necessary for pilots to gain altitude after takeoff.
You know, when 130 pilots starting at once and everybody's trying to get up, and the lifts as they were today, they were really small. So for the competition pilots it's not quite funny.
The landing area is in the village of Zell am Ziller, which is also the scene of the event's festivities.
We have something they call Fasselfliegen here. Everyone can go up and try and land on the point, and then they get a lottery ticket and they can win all sorts of prizes.
Is it tough to hit the center?
Yes, it's quite difficult.
In the heart of Zell am Ziller is a very special resort, run by a family who's been in the village for over 300 years. While we enjoyed the sporting amenities, the highlight here is the sense of Gemütlichkeit that each guest experiences with the Egger family. After a healthy breakfast, we set out on a hike with the Eggers and their guests.
The hike brought us 2,000 feet above the village of Zell to the unspoiled mountain pastures of Tyrolean farmers.
This is the Continental Divide. These are the peaks, the highest peaks of the Eastern Alps.
The reward for your efforts is found at the Egger family's mountainside Hütte.
Here, a traditional Austrian celebration was in full swing, complete with local culinary specialties.
Was ist das? Tiroler Gröstel. Very good for hikers. A lot of calories.
Tiroler Grüstel is a hearty favorite made from potatoes, onion, bacon, and eggs.
Well, the Eggers can't be nicer, more welcoming. We've really enjoyed it. It's been great.
The Ziller Valley offers endless opportunities for two-wheeled adventures.
Well, the summer is creeping through my window and it feels just fine. Yes, it brings back the days and all the nights that got lost in time.
The mountain biking here is unbelievable. You can go up the hill, down to the valley, you can go everywhere.
To get on our bikes and ride the back roads as far away from school as we could be.
Yeah, here we are at Kreuzjoch. That's our ski area in winter. And here that's the Gallows Valley.
I can feel my heart is breaking from this hole and looking for the way to go. Whoa. It's coming around again. Oh, it's coming around again. Thinking back to a time along the lake shore in the middle of July.
Along the way, we got a glimpse of the lifestyle of the rural farmers.
When we'd get up at the break of day and stare out at the morning sky. Well, we'd head up to those rocks and watch the water 30 feet below. No, no, would hold me back from jumping. I was never afraid to just let go. Now I'm older and I wonder about the future.
In Austria, drinking beer is a way of life, and those who create the beer are considered artists. We're about to meet a man who just may be the most important guy in town.
Oh, good morning.
Brewmeister Heinz Hummer runs the Zillertal Brewery, located in the heart of Zell-am-Ziller.
We come in our brewery, in the oldest brewery in Tyrol. She is 495 years old.
The secrets of brewing have been passed down for 20 generations. It all begins with the hops.
Green leaves and they are pressed together. It tastes bitter.
It tastes like dry grass or something. It doesn't taste bad though. Each year in May, Zillertalers celebrate the Gouderfest, a huge outdoor party where a special blend of potent aged beer is released.
Let's have a glass of beer, and here in the Zillertal, we say Gesundheit.
In Austria, it's important to look each other in the eye when you toast.
Prost.
Castles are an enduring symbol of Austria's feudal legacy. Just outside the Ziller Valley, we found an American couple who had just inherited the task of restoring this amazing piece of history.
This is the oldest part of the castle. It's over 2,000 years old. This tower was built by the Romans and was part of a defense strategy that they had all along the Inn River. And it was built originally as a protection, and because of its height, that the soldiers could be at the top of and could look down 14 miles to the next tower, and then 14 miles to the next tower after that, to make sure that no enemies were approaching.
Unraveling the castle's past is an intriguing challenge for this couple.
It's a treasure hunt, trying to figure out what was done when and why. And you really have a sense that the answers are here somewhere, but you have to find them, and it's exciting.
Look at the chandelier.
You find little motifs worked into the crests and some of the furniture and things. It's an incredible feeling to be sitting there, sanding a floor and getting really tired and just thinking, boy, this is tedious or something. Then you stop and you kind of look over and you see this 15th century fresco or something. You go, wow, this is why I'm doing this.
In the 16th century, the castle consisted of only 3 towers connected by wooden catwalks. The years have seen many additions and changes.
This is the library and former prison. This is the Sirius key. And you have to see the lock on the other side of this key.
You know, we're really stewards of the past, the present, and the future, you know, trying to do as good a job as we can, as the people who have preceded us have done a tremendous job, and it's a privilege and a huge responsibility.
An American president also stayed here.
And this is the room that Teddy Roosevelt would have stayed in the 1890s when he came to visit.
Like most castles, Schloss Matzen has its own ghost story.
There were 2 brothers in the Freundsberg clan, and one owned Schloss Lichtwehr across the way there, and one owned Matzen here, and the brother in this castle was standing with his back to the window right where I am now, and his brother shot him through the back with a crossbow. And so the legend is that we have a ghost wandering around Matzen, impaled with a crossbow arrow.
You really have a sense of a baton being handed to the next guy, and it's very exciting. I think we both share a feeling of continuity with this place, with everybody who has preceded us, and that, I don't know, that's just sort of a nice feeling of history.
Up and over the mountain from the Zillertal, just a day's hike away, lies the Altbach Valley. The village of Altbach has been called one of the most beautiful in all of Austria, and locals take great pride in their home.
That's fantastic. We're happy to have this feeling to be in a mountain, to be born in a mountain.
Altbach is renowned for its lush green meadows and easy hiking trails. Most of the homes are centuries old and perfectly preserved. The valley itself has about 2,000 full-time residents, and each generation becomes the caretaker of the family home.
Family tradition goes back to 1635, so it's more than 350 years old already.
Many of the old homes have slate roofs held down with rocks.
No nail at all.
As we were hiking down, we came upon an annual celebration.
It's old custom from the farmers. They brought the first hay in, and then they're celebrating to keep the weather good. and keep the grass growing again for the second hay, you know, to keep everybody happy.
The traditional costumes are priceless family heirlooms.
I got this from my grandfather, because he says, Peter, I give it to you, but please keep it in the family.
And of course, the Austrian schnapps tradition lives on in the Alpbach.
And the schnapps make my father, so it's homemade.
What kind is it?
It's apricot.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Whoa. It's a good one.
Ah, that's crafty. With marmalade and sugar. It's an Alpbach tradition.
Hans, tell me, what are we seeing there in the distance?
This is the mountain Gradelspitz, and from the Gradelspitz you can see the village Alpbach.
Alpbach is a town saturated with color, and each building is adorned with vibrant flowers. Because the Alpbach Valley is so isolated, local carpenters developed their own style, and traditions and customs survive to this day. Just outside town, you can take a step back in time at the Farmers Museum. In this 400-year-old building, you'll get a look at some of the tools that were essential in the farmer's daily life.
This is the walking in the snow, snowshoes. Here we go into the kitchen. This is the meat for butter. And here they put the cream in.
Everything was cooked over the open fire, and the ceiling was completely black, as ham and bacon were smoked in the house.
This is the instrument to put the teeth out.
To pull teeth
Yeah,
out.
the teeth out.
Oh, God. Did they drink a lot of schnapps?
Of course, of course.
The Alpbach has the ultimate terrain for rock climbing.
This part up here is especially very good for training, for bouldering, and fantastic. The rock is very hard and it's good grip. Of course, every grip, every hand has to be very secure. One little mistake means you fall down, and even 2 meters would be too far. Fantastic, this rock. It's a great feeling, like going about the snow in winter.
Johan is renowned as one of the best rock climbers in the Alpbach and gets a huge rush from summiting.
Coming up next in Adventures in Travel is our trip to Baja, Mexico for wild encounters with sea life with your Passport to Adventure hosts, Julie Conover and Mark Jennings.
Hi, and welcome to Passport to Adventure. I'm Mark Jennings.
And I'm Julie Conover. Mexico's Baja Peninsula is a 1,000-mile-long desert paradise.
With the Sea of Cortez on one side and the Pacific Ocean on the other, the real adventure takes place on the water.
In this episode, we'll explore both sides of the Baja Peninsula. In the Sea of Cortez, we'll kayak through the volcanic landscape.
Surrounding the Baja Peninsula are hundreds of tiny islands. Here you just don't know what kind of wildlife you might run into.
We'll plunge into the underwater domain of the sea lions and go nose to nose with these playful creatures.
We'll explore the mysterious volcanic island of Espiritu Santo, climb its peaks, and wrestle a giant squid.
On the Pacific side is Magdalena Bay, winter home of the migratory gray whales, who travel thousands of miles to give birth to their young.
And hit the streets of La Paz for a night on the town with our local amigos. It all happens next on Passport to Adventure.
"12 million years ago, an earthquake along the San Andreas Fault separated Baja California from mainland Mexico. The upheaval created a peninsula 800 miles long with high plateaus and mountains that soar to over 10,000 feet. Though irrigation has made some of the land tillable, the vast majority is a scorching, barren desert.
It was here, on a windswept bluff in 1535, that a Spanish explorer named Hernan Cortez built the first European settlement. Located near the southernmost tip of the peninsula, on the shores of the Sea of Cortez, you'll find the capital of southern Baja, La Paz. Our native guide, Roberto, told us about the town.
La Paz is the typical coastal town. This is the capital city. And have a lot of culture of the north part of Mexico.
What do you like about La Paz?
The sea. I love the sea, you know, swimming and snorkeling. The color of the sea is just wonderful.
What are the people like?
Friendly. Friendly the people is friendly. That's the word.
Down at the harbor in La Paz is OR's local outfitter, Mar y Aventuras, literally translated Sea and Adventures. They're fully equipped to take you both over and under the water to discover the wildlife and rugged beauty in the Sea of Cortez.
I think it's one of the best seas. It's calm. The temperature of the water is cool. We have a lot of submarine life.
Marine life is in abundance here. In addition to bottlenose dolphin and the migratory gray whales, you'll find marlin, over 800 species of fish, as well as sea lions that all call the Gulf of California home.
Roberto explained the unique colors of the first island we would visit, Espiritu Santo.
It's a volcanic island. The pink color, it's volcanic ashes.
Volcanic upheaval had left a rugged landscape with salmon-hued sandstone cliffs. I was in awe of the wild rock formations created several million years ago that reminded me of something out of Jurassic Park.
The break of dawn on the Sea of Cortez gives birth to a palette of southwestern colors. There are many secluded coves along the peninsula that make ideal campsites.
Are you having fun out here?
Always. I love it out here. It's beautiful. So different from Canada. I really like the contrast between the two.
I think just broad sweeping is a good way to look at it. I mean, it's just so immense. And it's really extremely rugged, and then you turn right around, you got the beautiful blue ocean. It looks like Utah, except that you get the ocean thrown in.
I've been sea kayaking before, but not in Baja. This is my first time in Baja. I'm enjoying it immensely. We brought our two daughters, they're 11 and 16, and they're doing really well too, so it's a great family trip.
So do you feel like you're roughing it?
No more than I would backpacking or any other camping. It's roughing it more than some people would like, but I'm comfortable with it.
What is it that brought you down here?
The adventure, I think. Enjoying the kayaking. This is actually my first time doing it. I'm kind of catching on. It's not, too difficult.
The calm waters and spectacular scenery of the Sea of Cortez make it a perfect spot for kayaking. These glassy waters were once a haven for pearl divers. Native Yaqui Indians were known to free dive to depths of up to 60 feet in search of the white gold. Now extracting pearls is forbidden by law, as the entire region is part of Mexico's Natural Park Reserve.
At the break of dawn, we set out to explore the mysterious island of Espiritu Santo, literally translated, Spirit of the Saints. We were gearing up to hike the isle, and as our marine biologist Roberto pulled us to shore, we noticed something unusual in the water.
It's a shark? No, it's not a shark. I think it's a squid.
Squid? Ah, fresh calamari. Yeah.
Giant squid. It's a huge one. Some years we had a lot of bloom of squid in the Sea of Cortez, and some years we don't have any.
Roberto showed us the cuts on his arm and the tentacles that created them.
Does it sting or hurt?
No, not much. No.
Not much?
Giant squid.
We all decided this beautiful creature should be set free to swim in his home, the Sea of Cortez.
Next, we set out to explore the sandstone rock formations of the island. We learned that the island is home to dozens of varieties of cactus. Can you eat that type of cactus?
No, you cannot eat this kind of cactus. This is a jumping cholla.
So Roberto, tell me what these things are I found in the rocks. They look like aspirin.
This one looks like a shark vertebra.
The body of a shark washed up here at some point in time and just decomposed and left these little things, huh?
Yep.
As the day winds down, the evening light accentuates the color of the sandstone. The burning sun reflecting off the water offers some of the most inspiring sunsets imaginable.
The next morning, we left the sheltered cove of Espiritu Santo and headed out for an area that's become a mecca for anyone seeking direct encounters with the wildlife in the Parque Natural. The area is known as Los Islotes.
Here in the Sea of Cortez is the island of Los Islotes, a perfect place to frolic with the sea lions.
Beneath the water's surface is a veritable playground for the sea lions, but one thing's for certain, this is definitely their home turf. The best we could hope for was an elusive touch as they played a continual game of cat and mouse. Our agility under the water was certainly no match for their acrobatics. How was it out there?
That was awesome! I can't believe they're so playful. Just lay upside down like this. They kind of look at you. So I thought if I did the same thing, maybe he would pet my stomach. But it didn't work.
They come right up to your nose, and you think they're going to come and bump into you, and you get scared, and they turn at the last second. It's great.
It's hard to imagine, but these friendly, fun-loving creatures were once slaughtered here by the hundreds just for their skin. Now they are protected by Mexican law, and instead of fearing humans, they see us as playmates.
You're underwater and you're in their element, and you think you're graceful underwater, and they're pulling these tricks in front of you. It just blows your mind.
The serene setting of Los Islotes is an ideal spot to break out the sea kayaks and explore the marine life from the surface. In addition to the sea lions, the area is home to threatened species like the green turtle, which can grow to 800 pounds. Fortunately, they are now protected as well. Visitors today can enjoy the natural beauty of the Sea of Cortez while taking home memories of their encounters with these impressive creatures.
The village of La Paz, located on Baja's shoreline, has a colorful past. Though the harbor is now filled with pleasure boats, for centuries it was a hideout for pirates who preyed on the Spanish galleons. La Paz today is a town that comes to life at sunset. After the siesta, the streets are filled with locals and tourists out to indulge in the Mexican specialties.
Here you'll find authentic carnita stands where you can customize your burritos and tacos with an array of flavorful salsas. But the best part may be the price.
4 of them, 18 pesos, so about 60 cents a piece. Not a bad deal.
If you prefer to dine on the waterfront, check out Chuco's, where you'll find another Mexican favorite.
It is the traditional recipe margarita. You will love it.
We enjoyed the house specialties, including seafood soup, fresh shrimp, and pork ribs. After dinner, you'll find live music in the town square and experience the flavor of this fun-filled Mexican port.
The Baja Peninsula is a vast, barren desert. Here, the only shade from blistering heat may be in the form of a cactus. The next leg of our journey would take us from La Paz, across the arid landscape, heading northwest. Our ultimate destination, Magdalena Bay. An overland journey in the scorching heat can make you feel pretty lethargic, so we decided to exercise our options.
Mountain bikes are a great way to explore Baja's back roads and get up close and personal with the desert. Typical inhabitants of this terrain are rattlesnakes, iguanas, and horned toads, as well as the occasional surf rat.
Beers? Are there beers around here at all?
We've been in the desert for a long time.
Dry.
Uno. Boy, it's a long, hot desert.
Whew.
Viva la Mexico. People are beautiful.
It's just so nice to be in the ocean and, you know, reeling in a fish here and surfing.
So where'd you guys get all those boards? It's been expensive.
No, people just gave them to us. You know, those are throwaway boards, and we've basically been picking up the scraps from everybody, and now we got a little quiver going.
The ignition is a push button and a screwdriver, and you just have to know the system.
That's perfect.
Perfect security.
Leaving the desert landscape behind, we arrived at Magdalena Bay. To get around here, you'll need to rely on the local fishermen and their pangas. These guys know the estuaries like the back of their hands. This wildlife sanctuary is a primary breeding ground for the migratory gray whales, who come here in December each year to breed and give birth to their calves. By mid-March, most mothers and calves have started the long journey back to Alaska.
Our campsite would be at the water's edge, next to the area where the whales love to frolic. We were visiting the area with local whale watching experts, Mar y Aventuras. The environmentally sensitive campsites are designed to leave zero impact on the landscape. Since there are no permanent dwellings on the sandy dunes, we snapped together our pup tents. then dug our anchors in to make sure we wouldn't be carried away by gale-force winds. It's great to warm up after that cold exposure. Ooh, yeah.
Our guide, a marine biologist, gave us an idea of what we could expect in the coming days.
Welcome, you guys, to Magdalena Bay. Did you hear that? And the whales are welcoming you too, the first breath here. This is a really great place, Magdalena Bay. It's the furthest, most southern breeding and calving ground of the Pacific gray whale. They actually travel over 5,000 miles to get here. They're up to 45 feet long. They weigh about 30 to 45 tons. When they're first born, the calves are 16 feet, a little over a ton. They grow incredibly here in the bay. They might gain 75 to 100 pounds a day, feeding on the really fat-rich milk of the mother. By the time they leave here, they might be up to 22 feet long. Our tactic in whale watching is to motor into an area where there's a high concentration of whales. If we're really lucky, we might even have a friendly encounter, which is when the whale actually approaches the boat and lets itself be touched.
Awakening to a crisp dawn on the Baja Peninsula, we were filled with excitement and anticipation. It was a little chilly for a morning swim, so instead we warmed up with a cup of coffee before setting out in search of the bay's nomadic citizens.
We scanned the horizon for signs of whales, then discovered a fluke print, a flat spot in the water created by the whale's tail as she submerges. The next thing we knew, there she was.
There's something about this gray whale experience that's really special. You simply motor into an area, and they're curious about you, so they come up to you to check you out. She wants to play. Look at the eye. It's incredible because they choose to touch us. It almost seems like they intentionally get you wet. They'll aim their blowholes right at you and make a big blow.
For all of us, touching a whale was an unforgettable experience.
Eric, what do you think? What's it like?
I think it's pretty great.
What does it feel like? What's the surface?
Feels like nothing I've ever felt before, really.
She likes a little scratching. She loves to scratch. Is she a cutie or what?
It's like overripe eggplant.
Big kiss.
The size is really impressive.
There's mama. There's baby. Yeah. Hi, baby. Where's your eye? Here, say hello.
Thanks to the experienced staff, our first encounters with the whales had been overwhelming.
Muy bien, Maria Aventuras. Gracias, gracias.
The local guides had done a great job of getting us close to the whales.
Got to touch mothers and babies, and it was amazing. You see these babies coming up, and then the mother just surfacing right underneath the baby, and you just get a sense of how enormous she is.
Oh, here comes Mom, and Mom wants the boat. We're going up.
I was the only one who hadn't touched this whale, and I was really bummed about it. So people told me to sit in the stern because that's where they like to approach. Sure enough, I mean, God, we had like 2 days left. I thought, oh, I'll never get a chance. I'll never get a chance to touch this whale, and I did.
It was incredible. We hung out in the really deep water because they said that's where all the breaching goes on. One came like right near our boat, and it came right out of the water and bam on its side. I was scrambling to try to get the camera out, but it was incredible.
It's going to be a regular thing for me. It's so neat to come down here and see the whales, to get that close to something so different than you. Creature, spirit, entity, consciousness. It's a part of the earth that we don't inhabit at all, and there they are.
We now had an appreciation for the importance of preserving the habitat of these amazing animals, whose numbers continue to grow.
Look at the population of gray whales. It's one of the most incredible success stories in endangered species. They went from almost a low of 4,000 individuals in the 1950s to now about 23,000 individuals. even with all the increased whale watching.
In the evenings, the campsite comes to life, and there's no need to lower your taste buds' expectations with this crew.
Food was incredible. I eat better for a week at a time down here than I have at any other time in my life.
The Mexican, we use everything and the taco.
Down-home Mexican cooking, relaxing with friends, and sharing stories of the day's adventures are all a part of the Oars and Mariaventuras experience.
I don't have a plate.
Our final day of whale watching in Magdalena Bay gave us a chance to pause and reflect on the majesty of these beautiful creatures and the importance of preserving them. This has been their exclusive domain for thousands of years, and now curious strangers like us are coming into their sacred breeding ground. Mary touched on the importance of using local licensed outfitters in this sensitive area.
When you're traveling with a company who uses local guides, then you're contributing to the local economy. When the locals in an area see some benefit from the resource that they have there, then they have more incentive to preserve it. And I think that's really important. That's the key to conserving gray whale of Magdalena Bay.
It was amazing to think that these mothers and calves would soon be on their way to the Bering Sea. Someday they will return to this very same spot to continue their cycle of life.
I'd never imagined I'd be face to face with a whale, but to be able to reach out and touch one is all part of the magic of Magdalena Bay.
For all the Passport to Adventure team down in the Baja, thanks for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you from another exotic corner of the globe. International air transportation provided by Aero California.
La Paz accommodations by Hotel Los Arcos.
Mobile computing made possible by Apple PowerBook.
Footwear by Teva.
Travel gear by Eagle Creek.
Underwater camera housing by Eva Marine.